Welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on Scraplift Crafternoon. This is a weekly hop that I host with my Scraplift Crafternoon tribe. Each week one of us finds a layout to scraplift. We do ask for permission from the original creator, and once they have given that, we set up a rotation. If you are interested in having us scraplift one of your layouts, please drop a comment down below. And I would love to interact with you and talk to you about grabbing layouts. Right now we have layouts through, I believe, the end of July. And so any new layouts would come sometime in August. But let's get back to this. This week we are scrap lifting Tammy Hawes. She has this amazing layout that I'm popping up here in the corner for you to get a great look at. It is gorgeous. It is for Scrap the Boys, and they had a product that they were supposed to be using, and that was washi. And so all of those tiny strips at the top of her layout are strips of washi. I'm not going to be using washi today, but I am going to mimic those strips using some of this product that I have from Spectrum Gardenia. This is a collection that I absolutely adore and ended up with a lot of, and it's taking me quite a long time to get through it. I gave it a break for a little while, but today I'm dragging it back out, and I have gone through some of it to try to help me get what I desire for this layout. I have rub-ons that I would like to try to use to mimic some of the things that she has on her paper. I believe she used 49 and Market's Nature Study, or at least some of it looks like Nature Study. I don't know if it all is for sure, but it looks a lot like Nature Study, which is one of my favorite collections from 49 and Market, including the cute little mushrooms. We do a lot of hiking in my family, and mushrooms are one of the things that when I see them, I take pictures of them because I'm weird. I'm just weird like that. Anyway, the picture I'm using today is from May of 2016, and this is a therapy drawing that my daughter's therapist asked her to draw. I was trying to help her learn to put her feelings on paper versus using her anxiety as a method to cope or help. This was to help her cope with her anxiety. And as I read this drawing that she shared, I did take a picture, and at the time I had her permission to scrapbook it, so I'm hoping that's still okay. Anyway, this one was about what makes her sad, what doesn't make her sad, and she has a list and drew a photo of herself showing what her face looks like when she's sad. As a mom, part of it is heartbreaking. You hate to watch your babies struggle, and she has most certainly endured a lot of struggles in her short life, and to see this on paper was a little heart-wrenching, as well as some of it was affirming as a mom that we were still doing some of the right things for her. Anyway, I have a photo of it. The original photo that is printed is from one of those groove books that you've heard me complain about. Not recently, because I'm almost out of photos from the groove book, but I actually happen to have the photo of this, or the picture that I took of this, on digital on my computer, so I just reprinted it. So I'm going to pause, I'm going to get started, and I will be right back. While I was paused, I did a little bit more of the sorting from the embellishments and things, trying to get what I thought I might want to grab from on the table, and then set the rest of it aside, out of the way. There's still quite a bit of product right there. And so the first thing I'm going to do is build that frame that is on Tammy's layout. I think hers was probably pre-printed on her layout, where I'm going to build it on this piece of the Spectrum Gardenia paper. It was really hard to choose one of the Spectrum Gardenia backgrounds. I'm going to be honest with you. I love every single background. A lot of them I love both sides. And it was really hard to decide which side to use. And so I just chose a lot of color for this layout because the photo is technically black and white since it's a pencil drawing. It's a photo of a pencil drawing. And so I wanted there to be a lot of color on this layout. I feel like when you have a black and white photo like that, that having color can point towards the photo more. And so that was my goal here. Now, I mentioned that I wasn't going to build the washi tape border like she built at the top of her layout. I'm using some tags, some branding strips, and some other bits and pieces from this collection to do that instead. And I have cut apart one of the branding strips. Actually, I think I've cut apart two of them, or maybe I haven't cut the second one yet. I started with the colorful pieces first and wanted to get those in there, and then I'm going to take the other branding strip. I believe that's what I'm looking for here. Oh, nope, I have a more solid tag, and so I just tore off the end that had the eyelet and the elastic band. I'm not sure why they had elastic in these tags. I don't think I've used the elastic on any of them that I've put on my pages. So I've always just taken them apart. So here is the black and white branding strip, and I'm kind of using it to separate some of those bright colors a little bit. I will come in with a blue branding strip to add some more solid color to it here. So I'm alternating between tearing and cutting so that I have smooth edges for the top to stick underneath those notebook torn borders that I have, and then torn on the edges kind of to mimic the ribbing of the washi tape, since I did not use that. So I've only put that on there now. It's not glued down, of course, or anything, but I wanted it on there first so that as I built the rest of this frame using the rub-ons, I would know where to put them, and so that I'm not covering up a bunch of them. These rub-ons are multicolored, just like the wash or the strips that I used at the top. And so I'm going to be cutting them down into borders and putting one on either side. Now, these 49 Market rub-ons are amazing. Reaching for my bone folder, I prefer the bone folder over the tool that comes in the rub-ons. And I did notice in the last few packs of rub-ons that I purchased from 49 Market, they didn't include the little tool. A popsicle stick will work as well. So, but I just use the rounded end of my bone folder for that. And I'm going to cut a second border for the left side here. And then I believe I cut a third one out as well, and I use it to kind of fill in, because I know that I'm creating a frame on this page for my photo embellishments and journaling, and I'm just using the rub-ons to create that frame, since this paper didn't have one pre-printed on it. Did I already have a paper that had it pre-printed on it? Absolutely. The reason I'm not using that is because I wanted to use color, and I believe the one that I have left is black and white, and yes, I could have added plenty of color to that and used it anyway, but this is also an excuse or a way for me to dig into some of these pieces of Spectrum Gardenia that I haven't yet used, like the tags and the rub-ons. I had not opened them before. I'm going to be adding one of these background rub-ons towards the left-hand side over the red part already. So when I get it on here, you're still going to be able to see it. It's going to look like I added mixed media there, but it's just a rub-on. And this is a great way to add mixed media to your pages, especially if you're in a hurry or if you don't like messes. This is a great way to do it. Again, these rub-ons are absolutely amazing. I've not had any trouble with the 49 Market's rub-ons not working. I'm also going to come in with the stitching rub-ons here. I had to stop the camera and go ahead and glue down everything because I wanted to make sure that I was getting the rub-ons, the stitching rub-ons on there where I wanted. This will help accent my frame just a little bit by adding the stitching rub-on. I'm trying to cut off the wording because I realized after I cut off that stitching that the label from 49 Market that had Katie Petit's name as well as 49 Market and the collection name on it was also a rub-on, and I did not want that to come off onto my page. So I cut that away, and I'm just adding this stitching rub-on right on top of the other rub-on. I really love how it helps accent those colors and really gives you an illusion of a pre-made frame around my photo area. So I'm having to cut them apart to make sure that they're the full length on each side, and I think that worked really, really well. I do it on the right hand side as well. I'm trying to use up all of the rub-ons that I cut apart so that I don't have any loose ones running around, because those get lost easily. And currently my 49 Market are in a some assemblage required kit holder. She has those on her storefront, and I bought one to hold my Spectrum gardenia so that I would dig into it more often, and for a while I was really good at that. And then I got busy trying to use other collections, other kits and things, and so it's time to get this back out and finish off my Spectrum gardenia if I can. And note to self, don't order any more 49 Market warehouse boxes, because I got a lot more Spectrum gardenia in those warehouse boxes, and that ended up being fine because I got some more paper. I was running low on paper. So I'm just still building this square here, but you can really begin to see it to come out really nicely. And I'm going to put the stitching line along the bottom as well. I did not add the colorful border down there at the bottom, just on the either side, but on the bottom I added just this stitching mark to give you the illusion of a fully closed in square. I'm not going to put a rub-on all the way to the right hand side because my photo is going to go there, and then I would cover it up anyway. But I am going to put a rub-on on top of those notebook borders. I think those notebook borders are probably some of my favorite embellishments in a 49 Market collection, and when I run out of them, it helps for me to use the collection more if I grab my notebook punch and make more of them, because I just love those for tucking and building layers. So this little piece here in those warehouse boxes, I got 2 of the Spectrum gardenia like little notebook sets. This is a small one. I think it's probably 5 by 5 maybe. I don't use notebooks, and so I'm going to be using them for layering pieces as I finish off this collection. So I just tore that one out. They're really pretty, and they would make a great little travel notebook if that's something that you like to do. But I really don't utilize stuff like that, so I just thought it would be great to just tear them apart. I have a bigger one that has like file folder tabs on it too that may come into another layout here in the future. So I have this frame that I chose out of the ephemera packs, and I scuffed it up, and I'm gonna just start tucking things. And I thought I might do it top and bottom, but I didn't really like that, so I ended up doing the top and one of the sides. I'm gonna put this one on the side, or maybe, nope, I'm putting them both on the side. I really didn't like it peeking out at the top because you could see where I cut it, and I just didn't care for that. Here's a tag that is from some of the cover product in the collection. I love that you get fussy cut items, and I love that a lot of times it's tickets and things that you can cut out very easily and use for layering pieces. So that's all I'm doing there. I thought about putting that bow on the tag hole. I think I end up covering the tag hole anyway, so it doesn't matter, and the bow was going to cover the words on the photo. And my whole goal here is so that you can read what my daughter wrote on here in the future, and you'll be able to see all of that in the still shots at the end. Now, Tammy used some fern pieces on her layout, and this collection doesn't have those, and so I'm just going to use some floral bits and just do some layering. I also thought on this little colorful border at the top that I created, where she created with washi tape, I used my different ephemera and pieces and stuff, that I would add some of these hearts that I have a ton of left in this collection because I'm just not picking them up. And so I'm going to layer the hearts. I'm going to try to stay as tone on tone as possible. It's not perfect because I have a mixture of tones going across the top, but I just thought that that was a great addition and kind of makes the layout my own. Just differentiates a little bit from her layout, and her layout is absolutely stunning, which is why I chose it. But I do like to make things my own if I can. And I am scuffing up everything that I'm layering up here, and I'm trying to use like a lot of the tickets and things that I pulled out. I'm trying to use as much of it as possible. I ended up not using any of those fussy cut items off to the right, but I put them there just in case I needed some more layers, and I just ended up not needing any more. I had plenty of ephemera from the ephemera packs available. Now I'm also going to bring in some butterflies here. She had like a wood round at the top, I think left of her layout. I'm not looking at her layout right this moment. And I'm going to end up putting in a very large, I'm going to say it's a moth rather than a butterfly, I think, but it might be a butterfly. Anyway, I thought it looked like its body, it looked more moth to me than butterfly, so I'm saying moth. And I put another butterfly down on the leafy bit, and then I put a third butterfly in near the layers. So, and I also added some labels for journaling. All right, I got my layout completely finished. I'm pretty happy with the way that this turned out. I love that I was able to use up some of the bits and pieces, like the branding strips that I've been saving from this collection instead of washi. Washi needs to be used for my stash too, so I could have very well done that, but I really wanted to just stick with Spectrum Gardenia, and so having all of those little strips and tags that I was able to use at that top layering part really made me happy. I did add, as you saw, some hearts to that top part, and of course I used different embellishments. I didn't have any wood rounds or ferns or anything in this collection. I just used what was in the collection. In fact, I don't think I used anything that wasn't Spectrum Gardenia. So this is a layout that has completely just used up the Spectrum Gardenia. And of course, I still have a ton of it left to use. It's a beautiful collection. And so I need to start digging for some more photos to use with it. So I want to make sure that you check that description box below. There is a playlist down there, and I would love it if you would watch the playlist. Leave my friends some comments on their layouts, as well as click that thumbs up button for each of us. That really helps us out here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to any of my Scraplift Crafternoon tribe, I would love it if you would do that. We all appreciate new subscriptions, and we all try to comment and respond to your comments and questions on our videos. You guys have a great Sunday. Bye.